あなたにとってのサードプレイスはどこですか？東京で暮らす外国人にとって同じようなバックグラウンドを持つ人とつながれる場所を見つけるのは簡単ではありません。そんな中、こちら、下北沢のレストランバー、コースター。入っていくと、日本とは思えない空間があった。
Hello, I'm Thomas. I'm French and I came to Japan 14 years ago. And about 6 years ago, I started a coaster. I've always worked in a hospitality business and always wanted to have my own place. So after working several years in Japan in different restaurants, finally I had the opportunity to open a coaster with my current associates.
コースターは外国人のスタッフが多く、みんな楽しそうに働いていた。その温かい雰囲気がとっても印象的であった。いろんなイベントも行っていて、私たちが伺った時はオーストラリアの料理のイベントが開催されていた。
DJ イベントから生演奏、いろんな国の食べ物のイベントがある。
こちらはコースターのバーマネージャー、ジェームズ・アキラ・立花さんです。
I was spending a lot of time here, and then one day they posted Baita Boshu, so I messaged them and just started working part time, and then slowly moved my way into it. I enjoy working hospitality because of the environment. You're always sort of talking to people. We offer like a space for them to sort of feel back home in their foreign countries, even though they're in the middle of Tokyo. The people that have been living in Japan for 20 odd years, we have a little Jordan-san.
週1でコースターに来るというトリスタンさん。
Yeah, I come here once or twice a week. Coast is pretty foreigner friendly. I don't know if I haven't come across that many more foreigner orientated places in Tokyo, but Coast is one of them. A lot of the Kaigan beers are pretty good, so usually go for one of those and always get one of their burgers. The Coaster sauce they use here is pretty legendary, so
ハンバーガーとポテトはとても人気。ジューシーなビーフパティと新鮮な野菜を使ったチーズバーガーとスタッフ自らカットした新鮮なポテトをコースタースペシャルソースに絡めていただくのもおすすめだ。コースターが独自で作り上げているオリジナルクラフトビール、海岸ブリュワリーのさまざまな味のビールが常備揃えてあり、他のお店にはない唯一無二のビールを味見することができる。
The plan was always to expand as much as we can. So we started with coaster number one in Shimokitazawa. We wanted to have our own brewery, which we did, Kaigan. And then it made sense to open more restaurant or bar outlets to distribute. So hopefully we're not stopping at 2, but maybe like 5, 10, who knows. I arrived here when I was 20 years old, so I didn't work so much back in France, maybe like 4 years. So it made more sense to start the business here rather than go back to France. And I think everybody wanted to have a place that feels like a home for foreigners and Japanese alike. So the difficult parts about opening a business in Japan is definitely using a different language. So my mother tongue is French. I speak English as well, but Japanese, even now, far from being like proficient. It was challenging, very challenging at the beginning, but thankfully we had a couple of my associates are actually N1 level Japanese speakers, so we rely heavily on them to do all the Japanese parts. So after 14 years now, I speak a little Japanese. I would say maybe I speak conversational level, like maybe N3 level spoken. I mean, ultimately, you live in a country. If you don't speak the language, it's impossible to. And also, I didn't want to be the guy that lives in a country and Like you get by at the beginning, but then it's so important. You don't speak Japanese, you cannot communicate with people, cannot open like bank accounts, basically throughout companies that cater more for Gaikokujin. I think it's better if you speak Japanese, and then you can access to almost everything that regular Japanese citizen would do.
こちらもコースターで SNS 担当として働くミカさん。4世代目日系アメリカ人なのでビザが下りないとのこと。
I am not recognized by the government as being Japanese at all. Yeah, so I just have a working visa like all the other like foreigners that live here as the social media manager for Coaster.
My first visa was a working holiday visa. It's a 1-year visa. I went back home once, then came back with a student visa. So student visa where I started to attend Japanese classes. And after that, I got sponsored by my first workplace. I got my business manager visa, which I got granted because I invested some money in the business. And
パスポート、申請書、在留資格認定証明書に加え、他にも様々な書類を提出する必要がある。
But yeah, basically you have to clear some criteria, and then you can get long-term visa, or you get married. So, if there's any candidates,
I started here on a working holiday visa. Then I moved to a working visa 7 years ago. Now I got married recently, and so I'm on a spousal visa. It was very frustrating and stressful. You have to provide a lot of information that I didn't have on hand at the time that I had to really struggle to look for.
I think whenever there's places where, people that don't necessarily fit into that exact category, if they have a place where they can go and feel comfortable, and anyone who is interested in being in that kind of international environment, I think having a place like that anywhere where people can kind of come and experience different cultures in a very casual, low stakes place and just enjoy themselves is spaces of joy, I guess.
今回の取材を通してコースターはいろんな人にとってサードプレイスになっていることを実感した日本に移住してきた皆さん、そして海外に興味がある皆さん、コースターに行けば普段味わえないような出会いがあるはずだ。コースターはレストランという名のコミュニティなのだった。